Seeing an attractive woman, it's a lot like seeing a good magic trick. Most people aren't going to throw their whole life away for it, but we can't quite stop looking. Mesmerized in nor if you will. We know we aren't going to spend the time necessary to learn how, but we want to know how to do it. If we knew how to do tea, we'd be doing it all day, showing any and everybody who's willing to see. And if they said, hey, want to learn how to do it, most of us would probably hear them out. The problem is they get boring over time, and the older we get, the less infatuated we are with magic. Unless you plan on being a magician, the trick is often used useless outside of turning some heads. After spending the day with her, you're going to start thinking, I kinda want to do something else, play a game, ride a bike, have an interesting conversation. And a lot of model-esque women aren't really equipped for interesting conversation or anything other than looking pretty. Hell, even doing it, you're probably the one doing all the work. And they just sit there thinking, man, I'm doing such a good job right now sitting here looking pretty. And of course, these are just blanket statements and there are exceptions to the rule.
Plenty of interesting, attractive women exist, but the chances of running into one is rare. And it's men's fault man's standards are way too low. And even those needs are rarely met. The average man wants a pretty woman, not a model, who's kind and considerate, someone who doesn't constantly create problems for them. Someone they can spend time with, but also time away from without it becoming a problem. As soon as a man is enjoying himself doing anything other than catering or spending time with his woman, she's going to find a problem, and you're not a real man if you don't fix it. Men don't even require their woman to be useful. Sure, many men will talk about how their woman has to at least cook and clean. But when you look at their exes, they barely cooked and cleaned for themselves, let alone anyone else. If a man found an attractive woman he could spend time with intimately, who was also interesting, allowed him to interact with his hobbies or friends, didn't create problems for him on a regular basis, and was useful, he assumed it was a man with a really good plastic surgeon and an expertise in cosmetology, because that's far more realistic. Men take pride in being useful. Society has told us we had to be. Of course, there's some bums out there, but the expectations for the average man is through the roof.
It makes sense that you'd want a man who could take care of himself. Physically fit, attractive, good in bed, can pay all of his bills, handles his own problems. But most women want you paying their bills also. Dealing with her problems, emotional and or financial, a guy could be on the couch watching football during his day off and expect to hear, "Babe, I'm hungry," and off he goes to get her something or even make it. He's not hungry, he ate already. He even asked if she wanted something and she said no. Or she was indecisive on what she wanted to eat and didn't like where you were going for food. But 20 minutes to an hour later, when you're ready to relax, her wife sends it start tingling and her stomach gets too grumbling. He may be slightly annoyed, but he still feels good about being able to provide something for his girl. But did you get it fast enough? Why didn't you predict when and what she'd want to eat? All you want to do is watch that damn game all day, every day. Even though you hardly ever get to watch it because she's usually throwing a wrench in those plans. So then men have to be creative to find ways to enjoy themselves.
Sorry, babe. I gotta work late tonight. He's just watching the game at a buddy's house if he's lucky enough to still have one left after he's ghosted them for years in order to spend more time with her. She'll catch on eventually. You're a dumbass. He can't always be working late on game days. He'd still assume you're cheating, and even if you manage to convince her of the truth, you may as well have been cheating because you're still in the doghouse. Which is why honesty is always the best policy. But honesty often means that relationship ends sooner than later, which is a good thing long term. If being yourself isn't good for them, then it's not you they want to be with. The young men have a problem understanding this. They're still somewhat brainwashed to the idea that to be a romance, they need to cater to her every need.
And of course, there are young men who are the exact opposite. They'll get the attractive women and they are cheating. She complains from time to time about him spending time doing things that's not catering to her. But he's an expert in misdirection, gaslighting, making her feel dependent on his affection without providing much or putting in that much effort. That man's a magician and he does magic all the time, whenever he wants. Some men are born magicians. Some magicians take shape after years of abuse, performing dark magic with ease. There's no lesson here, no sage advice. Just the ramblings and observations of an old retired wizard.
But if you've ever been impressed by the antics of a wizard or warlock, you clearly haven't seen what a witch is capable of, and with far less effort. Okay, let's be honest. There are men out here, willing to make sweet love to a toaster with warm buns inside them. So getting one to be intimate with you is no extravagant feat. Nevertheless, what a sorceress is able to do. Tue, man is no laughing matter. But that's a story for another time. Like and subscribe to hear more.
Potato, oatmeals.